All right. So the 121,000 Mark 6. Let's talk about it. So, just like in the other videos, we're going to try to stick with the pros and cons and not compare it to the other instrument yet. Not yet. I will do a comparison. Obviously, I won't have both horns in my hands to do a comparison, but I'd rather just take a video and really talk about, what I like. We know what I like and dislike about the 141,000. You're about to know what I like and dislike about the 121, the 140, the 121,000. And yeah, so let's get into it. Try not to make this that long. So, just like in the other video, the cons. What are the cons physically? So, just like before, I'm going to put some B-roll footage over it. Going to try to keep this as fair as possible. Cons wise, we can see that there's little to no lacquer on the horn. Now, this is a con when it comes to value, when it comes to valuing the horn. This look is a look that a lot of people may prefer, especially a lot of players may prefer this look of, they call it the vintage look. My alto looks like this, but in a different way. I'm going to get into that in a second. But when we're talking about value in the horn and when we're talking about how much its value is, having no lacquer is a con when it comes to value. But for me, this is not a selling point. This is a personal taste point. Some people don't like this look, some people do, but I'm calling it a con only because of value. Next, con wise, there are some obvious repairs that have been done on this horn. There is what seems to be a neck, tenon, and receiver replacement that's been done, and a soldering job on that. There's also a soldering job on the low E flat key and the post. I can see where there was a soldering job on that. There's also been a soldering job on the close guard of the E flat key. There's a soldering job there. There looks to be a soldering job on the C key. I see a soldering job that was done there. So again, these things are cons because they lower the value of the horn. It doesn't necessarily make the horn not a good player, but it lowers the value. So those things need to be pointed out. If you're looking at a horn or you're looking to buy a horn, this is just knowledge that I've picked up, from getting older and understanding things about what to look for in these horns, things that I didn't know what to look for in my, when I got my other horn. So soldering jobs, that's a con. Another thing that's a con is the obvious, even though it's doesn't have any lacquer on it, it's not uniform in its condition of brass patina. Now, this is a con for me because, again, what I brought up earlier is my alto. My alto is all around the same coloration of brass patina. This one, there's obvious areas where there is lacquer. There's areas where there isn't lacquer. There's brown spots. Like this key here, this C-sharp key is like super brown, but there's the camera. Oh, there you go. The super brown spot there. There's green, there's brown, there's red. And this can be corrected, but it comes at the cost of a chemical cleaning or you cleaning it yourself with vinegar, which takes a long time, but it is effective, but it takes a long time. But all of this, like on the bell here, like this green, and you can feel it too. It's like the gunk that's on here. These rust spots here, the rust spots, on the bow and the bed, like all of those things can be corrected, but it's going to be at the cost of taking all the keys off and doing some major cleansing or chemical dip. So those are the cons physically. Pros physically. Pros physically is this horn matches the feel of my silver plated Mark 6 physically. So the key work, remember I was saying before, the key work in this horn is very relaxed. The spring tension is very well worked in. It feels very good to the touch. Me moving my fingers, I feel like I'm doing all the work. It feels like the horn is giving. Soon as I apply pressure, the keys move. There's not this toughness or stiffness. This horn is ready to go. There doesn't need to be any spring work done. And physically, pro is, even though it looks cosmetically being a con, a pro is that it's in pretty good condition as far as hinges, aside from the one that was soldered. Hinges, rods, those things are intact. Not as intact as much as the 141,000, but very much so in good shape as far as rods, squedging, and certain things of that nature in good shape. Good pads are on here. This doesn't require an overhaul. As far as the pads go, these pads got some life in them. I'll say they got at least a few years, couple 2 to 3 years in these pads. It does have plastic nylon resonators on it, not the metal resonators, but from the sound that it gives, that I don't see it being a problem at all. So those are the pros as far as physical pros. Now let's talk about the cons in sound. Now let's talk about the pros in sound. The pros in sound is there's a clear lower sonic presence that's in this horn that I definitely love and reminds me of my horn. There's a roundness, there's a very, very apparent warmness here, a lushness. The upper end of the spectrum can be pushed, by me. I can feel like I can get this horn bright if I choose to get it bright, but it stays mellow. And that is a pro. We're not going to say that that's a con. That is a serious pro that you can always count on when you play this horn, that lush warmth coming out of it. So, yeah, those are my opinions of the 121,000. I think that it is an amazing horn, but it is devalued because of the lacquer being missing and those solder points that's on here where it's been soldered, and the neck tenon and the receiver being replaced in the soldering job on there. Those things gotta be brought up. But other than that, this is a great horn. It only needs minor work, I would say. There's a little play in certain keys that need to be adjusted as far as, when you press it versus when it engages. There's a little gap there in a couple of keys that can be tightened up with some corks. Other than that, though, this horn is a player's horn. This is not a closet horn. This is not a horn that's been sat in the closet and feel stiff. This horn feel like it's been well played, and it plays like it's been played, and it is a joy to play. I feel like with this horn, I feel like I can't wait to play it. It makes me feel excited to play. It makes me want to try out things. It makes me feel confident. Could I play this horn on a gig? Yes, as is, absolutely. Today, I will be ready to play this horn on a gig. So those are my feelings about the 121,000 Mark 6. Great horn. So I'll be talking to you guys soon. There's more to cover. I still got to get my horn back, and I still got to find out what I'm going to do. But those are the pros and cons of the 121,000. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll check y'all later. Peace.